Just want to welcome everybody tonight. For those that I haven't met, I'm Jim Etzel, CEO of Sport Oregon. But let's just get to the show and what you guys came for. Blazers are a tremendous partner of Sport Oregon, have been since day one. And we so appreciate the partnership, not just with Sport Oregon, but their intentional work in our community. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our host for tonight, Mr. Lamar Hurd, and our special guests, General Manager Joe Cronin and President of Business Operations Dewayne Hankins. Here we go.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you. Thank you all for having us. It's exciting for me anytime I could join these two guys. These are two of the best leaders you will find in the sports industry. So with that, we will get this started. Joe, I'm going to start with you. Since I just talked about basketball, I don't know that anybody in this room had a more eventful summer than you. If you were a kid in school and it was the first day of school, you would definitely have the story of what I did this last summer. There was a lot going on. You had a franchise pillar, Damian Lillard, for the first time request a trade. All of a sudden, you have to reset the organization. From the start of that to where we are now, what was that process like for you?
Well, it was obviously challenging. It's hard to see a guy who's so important to our organization and our city, a guy like Damian, request to leave. But at the same time, it presented a unique opportunity for us where, okay, we can reset this franchise. We can, change the way, not only just the makeup of the roster, but the style of play, the long-term outlook. It just was a unique opportunity to do a lot of things at once. So challenging summer, a long summer. It took us 3 months to get everything done, but it was hard because we tried to line it up to where it was the best outcome for everybody involved. So obviously for the Trailblazers, trying to position ourselves to be in the best spot moving forward, but also to get Damian to a good spot. So really just work diligently, A, finding the right trade partner, and then B, finding the right trade package, which was very complicated, but we just kept working it, and we ended up stepping it out into multiple trades in order to get the things that we were looking for.
What did you think, Dewayne, about the NBA's first year of in-season tournament this year? Because it transforms your building, Moda Center. The court is different. The energy is different. What did you think about all that?
Yeah, I loved it, but I'm always willing to try new things. So we've been talking about it for a couple of years at the league level, and finally got it to a point that I think owners and team presidents and GMs could get excited about it. The league is a long one, and we've always heard, at least from the marketing side of the league or the operations side, that nobody pays attention until Christmas, right? That's when people start to really hone in. And this year there was a ton of success. I mean, by every metric, TV ratings were up, ticket sales for those games and those markets were up. The players who typically maybe don't play those games were playing in those games. So every metric that the league shared about it was fantastic. Did it throw us for a loop that we had a week of where we didn't know what our schedule was if we did or didn't make the tournament? Yeah, but we'll get better at those things as this event happens every year. And I think it was, I love, having worked in a couple different leagues, I love that the NBA is an innovative league. They're willing to try things, they're willing to do different things, and I think this tournament's here to stay, and I think it'll be exciting. Like, I was able to go to the game in Vegas this weekend, and it was a playoff-like atmosphere in a building that does not normally host basketball, so it was really neat to see.
The Rip City Remix, having a G League team, how important was that for you to get that? And what was that process like? What does that look like? Because it seemed like it was really quick. Like, how do you get it done that quickly?
Yeah. So it was priority number one when I started. That was what I thought the most important thing that we needed to get done as quickly as we could was getting a G League team in market. It's just an important part of player and staff development. We've utilized it so much already this year, and we've seen so much growth from some of our young guys playing for the Remix. The staff that we're able to develop, the coaches we're able to groom and teach, and it's just such an important vehicle to making our roster better and our organization better. And just knowing that players, in order to improve, they need to play basketball. And during the season, it's hard. Like when Trailblazers are playing 4 times a week. We just don't practice very often. So for the guys that aren't playing, it's often we're trying to just simulate repetitions. You know, they're playing 3-on-3, or they're playing against coaches, or, you know, running wind sprints on the side to stay in shape. So to have a functional G League environment for them to participate in, it's been a game changer for us.
Again, we didn't know at that time that we were going to have this era of the team where we were going to start developing players. So the timing ended up being perfect. And you know, it's fun because we're, you know, whether it was Harry Glickman or Paul when he was alive and on the team and really pushed on innovation, and like the Remix is the place on the business side that we can try a bunch of stuff and see if it works. And so it's really, really exciting to be able to have that as sort of an R&D lab, and then be able to use those things that are working at the NBA level, which is, I mean, that makes it super fun.
One thing that I've recognized on both fronts, business and basketball, is a lot more women in leadership positions within the organization. Well deserved. Where now, when I walk in a practice facility, when I walk around Moda Center, I am seeing a lot more women now in my 8th year in these leadership roles.
I think we've been very intentional about adding women. And the reason is we're trying to add, like, staffing wise, like the number one thing for me is get the most talented people possible. And I think in the NBA historically, and probably in most pro sports, women just are underrepresented in our league. And for me, we're missing out on a huge talent pool by not doing that. So for us, I think it's very natural. Like we knew that, hey, there's all these talented women out there. We need to find them and add them to our organization. Now the hard part is, you know, going out and finding the ones that are qualified and, you know, the exact fit for our group. But that's a challenge, and that's something that we've taken very seriously and I think done a great job at.
What about you?
I would say that, and then when you do hire them, making them feel empowered to go do their job, right? Like supporting them. Like it's one thing to get to hire women, and it's another thing to keep them. Yeah.
That's the part I appreciate about both of you guys, is that it's not just checking off some kind of box, which unfortunately happens a lot in sports. So I really appreciate you guys doing that from a genuine place. We do this every September. We go to 5 different spots, and our youth basketball team is now back, which I'm going to ask you about in a second. What would you like to see that turn into, not only for the kids and families that are out several hours away, but even people here within the PDX Metro?
I mean, youth sports for me is two things. I remember it was 5 or 6 years ago, and I was at an NBA league meeting, and Adam Silver had a bunch of pictures up about kids, and they're all just sitting in the corner during gym class, like on their phones, right, not engaging. And there's a lot of competition for kids, I think, time and energy and engagement. And a lot of it is unfortunately on screens, and that's not great. And so, you know, I have 2 kids, 9 and 11, and they're in sports, and we'll be in sports as long as they love it. It's up to them. But the lessons that they learn in sports they carry forever. I grew up playing sports, and the lessons you learn about failure and teamwork and being part of a team, and knowing when to be in the background versus when to be in the foreground, is so important to creating like a whole human being, that I want to be able to create that for youth. And so obviously want to have youth basketball because that's the sport that we're in, and we want to be able to sell tickets to it. So I'm pretty transparent about that, but it also is the great lessons that folks learn playing youth sports as kids. And then just, you know, I'm not going to go on a soapbox about this, but it's like we need to be able to have a level of competition where people don't have to be the next Lamar Hurd and can still play youth basketball and not have to be ultra competitive and not have to pay a lot of money. And so we feel like there's an avenue for that with our youth basketball program that create.
Dewayne, how do you try to leverage the fact that the Blazers here in the Pacific Northwest are the main of what is considered in sports major league team here in the Pacific Northwest? How do you leverage that for the Blazer brand?
That's a good question. I think, Portland got this team, I think, in, like I said, 1970, and so it's been 53 years. And at the time they got this, it was such a small market, and the Blazers have been beloved forever. And now we have the Timbers, and we have the Thorns, and we have all these other great teams in market. And what I love about Portland is that they embrace their sports teams regardless. Like, there's so much more passion for teams in Portland than than anywhere that I've ever been. I lived in LA before this and worked for AG and managed the Kings in the Galaxy, and that was a blast. But there was just and we won championships years that I was there, but it never felt like the city turned upside down the same way it does here when the Blazers make it to even the first round of the Western Conference Finals. It's just a different feeling here. So we just try to embrace that. We try to, we take a lot of pride in that. Fans will get on us for, things good and bad. And I talk about with Joe all the time because it was in a different market before. Like every decision that we make always ends up in the news. And sometimes they love it and sometimes they hate it, but at least they have a feeling about it. Because I've been in a lot of places where you could do something and no one even notices. So I just really try to channel that love as much as I can and hate when it happens, because at the end of the day, they do it because they still love us, right?
Okay, well then I'm gonna wrap this up here with some quick hitters for you guys. Pre-game meal of choice. If you have one, do you have a certain meal that you go to pre-game?
I don't, but I'm a peanut butter and jelly person. So whenever that's an option, I will choose that.
Over everything else?
Yeah. Pretty much.
You literally would take, like if you haven't eaten in 6-7 hours, you see
That sounds so good. I'm hungry right now.
Wow. Okay, Joe, do you have one?
Pizza.
Pizza. Same as Dewayne, where no matter what pizza is up against, you're taking pizza?
Yeah, it was just simple, and usually I'll just grab a slice. I'm kind of on the go, so.
Okay.
But also peanut butter and jelly.
Oh. So same.
Yeah.
Again, same. Okay, Joe. Same again. Is there what style of pizza?
Pepperoni,
Pepperoni.
cheese.
Keep it simple. All right. Favorite restaurant in Portland? Joe, what you got?
So my answer is always Shake Shack.
Yes. Yeah.
But I have another one besides that.
What happened? Yeah, look, Dewayne doesn't even know this.
Because I
is
gotta
breaking news.
break it up a little bit. Like the Shake Shack is
So
it's
what's
a
the
little
new
much.
one?
It's called Yakuza.
Okay.
Yeah, has anyone been there?
Been there? Okay, give it up to your cousin. All right. Is there something specific you like to get there? Do they do pizza?
They don't do pizza.
Oh, okay.
They do ribs. Those are really good. The fried chicken is really good. The sushi's really good.
All right. All right, Dewayne, how about you?
Farmhouse Kitchen.
What do you like there?
Everything. Especially the samosas with the curry. Pretty good.
All right. Dewayne, favorite place in Oregon outside of Portland?
Mount Bachelor. Skiing. Love it. I went for the first time last year. I had no idea it was as big and amazing as it was. I can't wait to go again.
So, this is only a year old that this is your favorite place?
Okay, can I say Bend? Because I love
Yes, you
Bend.
can say
I went
Bend.
in the
Okay.
summer and I loved Bend, and then for the first time I went in the winter and that's Bend. So I think I'll just go Bend. Is that okay?
That's a great answer. That's a great answer. Joe, how about you?
I like the coast.
Oh, okay. Is there a specific city on the coast or anywhere coastal?
Anywhere coastal.
Okay. All right. And then Joe, right back to you. Favorite sport outside of basketball?
Football.
Raiders, right?
Well, I've renounced them.
What?
Yep.
Joe, I'm learning a lot about you in this right now.
I've been a fan for 47 years. This year, I finally said I've had enough. So I'm a free agent. I am.
Wasn't that 3-0 game against this?
No, I renounced them before that. That would have.
Wait a minute. What happened? What broke you?
I got sick of the dysfunction, the losses, the coaching upheaval, the front office upheaval. Just had enough.
Can they win you back somehow?
No. I'm out.
This is.
I am.
I don't know what's more surprising, that or the Shake Shack getting dethroned. Because I know how you felt. You felt about Shake Shack the way you felt about the Raiders.
Same. Yes.
Same.
So
Same.
Shake Shack better stay solid. Or
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Joe was not playing around. Dewayne, how about you?
I have to say hockey.
Working hockey.
Yeah, long history in hockey, so I love it.
Everyone, give it up for Dewayne Hankins, Joe Cronin of your Portland Trail Blazers. Thank you guys for joining us, and thank you all for having us. We appreciate it, and go Blazers, go Sport Oregon.